Mum thinks our relationship could be better. I'm happy where it's at, but I don't know how to tell her. In an attempt to give some context, I, 28 female, was an uh-oh baby between my parents who had a turbulent relationship on a good day. They haven't been together for any of my life and do not like each other. My mum, 50s female, was an alcoholic the entirety of my growing up and beyond. Pair this with some narcissistic tendencies, like gaslighting, calling me ungrateful for not wanting to get into the car when she was drunk when I was old enough, etc., verbal abuse, and some physical abuse. She's not my favorite parent. She missed a lot of school and sport events because she either forgot, was drunk, or some combo of both. Lots of other parents giving me rides home because she'd throw a fit if Dad gave me a ride home because it wasn't his time. She didn't like that I wasn't stereotypically girly, and she was not subtle about it. She married and had my half-brother with a not-so-nice man. He was great with me, until he realized that I would never see him as more important than my bio dad. Through college, I'd try calling weekly, but despite being a stay-at-home mum, and no, I'm not knocking on this, she never had the time to talk or was too tired. So naturally, I stopped calling. She can call when she has time. Skipping over a lot, he and my brother are verbally abusive, really into guns, and according to my mum, also physically abusive. I've seen enough to believe her to an extent, but history with her also has a lot of false accusations / making stuff up a lot that I was there for. I was wary enough that I'd lock my bedroom door to sleep when I'd visit for holidays. About a year ago, she finally left him, has her own apartment, and is in the middle of a very rough divorce. She's been sober for a year and change, but I've been through enough that I simply don't trust her to remain that way. I am so happy that she left him. I'm sorry she's going through a rough time, but I'm tired of being her crutch. She started calling more, 1 to 2 times a week instead of maybe once a month. One of the times she brought up that I don't call her anymore, and I said something like, "I don't really call anyone." Which then came, "Well, I'm your mother, so you can call me." I've had her on an information diet for years because I don't trust her to respect boundaries. She has made fun of any boundaries that I try to set, like don't call me at 6 a.m. unless it's an emergency. One of the early phone calls included an apology for anything that she did that hurt me while she was drinking. No real thought into what she did, just that blanket statement. In her mind, that has absolved her of everything, and we should be a regular Lorelai and Rory. If you get it, it's from Gilmore Girls. I just got a text that she wants to have a good chat because she really feels like our relationship could be better. I get a sense of dread every time she calls. It's usually just bland small talk, but she's been pushing more and more for me to schedule a visit. The pandemic has been a handy excuse. She's been better than she was while I was growing up, so I feel like I should give her a chance, but I feel like I'm just repeating the same cycle that we've been on for my entire adulthood. Trust her to be my mum, works for like 6 months, get blown up at because I don't want to take her recommendation for a trash can, or get a call from a family member about her being on a bender, get hurt / personal life suffers because it triggers trust issues and anxiety. But she's also in a really low place right now with the divorce and having minimal contact with my brother too. How do I tell her that the fact that we're still talking is about as good as she's going to get? In the comments, Max Jet says, "I think you've done a very good job of laying out for us why you don't want to invest any more energy into the relationship than you already have. And I would use that outline as the template for your conversation. Say something like, I wouldn't guess that this is unexpected news, but I didn't feel like I got the support that I needed from you when I was growing up. I'm happy that you left stepdad and got sober, and I'm sorry that you're going through a hard time, but I cannot be the person that you lean on exclusively. I was denied this emotional support from you as a child, and as a result of that, and a host of other factors, I simply don't feel like I have the energy to be your confidant and support system right now. You're right that our relationship could be better, but unfortunately, We've gotten where we are from years of distance and neglect while you were drinking and feuding with my father, and it's going to take more than a couple of conversations to fix it. Maybe one day I will feel ready to put in the work to repair the damage, but right now, for my own peace of mind, what I've been giving you is all I have to give, and I need you to respect those boundaries. I think how she responds to a frank but fair conversation like that will actually give you a pretty good window into whether the narcissism and abusive tendencies continue to win the day with her. I'm sorry that she put you through so much. OP replies, "You're definitely right, and I appreciate the template concept. I'll be using bits of what you wrote for sure, and agreed. I'll just have to see how she responds, and then work from there." Quote, "I'm tired of being her crutch. Stay firm on your boundaries. I have a very similar situation and have been seeing a therapist for years. I told my mum that I need her to work on herself before I consider talking to her. I'm tired of doing all of the emotional and adulting work in the relationship, and I need her to make some kind of effort to look at herself in our relationship instead of me managing it. She refuses to see a therapist or counsel of any type, which is fine. It's clear to me that my mother is not ready. Ask your mum what she intends to do better for your relationship." OP says, "I've never actually been able to put into words what my role is, and managing nails it. I'll be firm that the onus is on her to make things better and that she will be doing the bulk of the emotional work." Here are some more responses from OP. "I needed to hear that. That's something that I've been trying to avoid. I've been trying to give her the benefit of the doubt that she was blacked out and didn't remember, but it doesn't change the impact of her actions on me. I also did cut contact a few years ago, but I was still trying to have a relationship with my little brother. So much for that. She would 100% use me for emotional support. I hate that there is still a part of me that wants her to genuinely be better because she's family. I gave up on getting a real apology years ago. Combination of her forgetting/being blacked out and genuinely not understanding why I would be hurt by her not showing up when she said she would. But I also don't think I owe her the emotional labor of explaining those things. It more or less equates to me defending why I'm hurt and doesn't force her to do some self-reflection of her own. I'm calling her tonight. I've written down some very clear boundaries that have to happen, and we are where we are because of her. Plus several reminders to myself to not budge and not explain the whys and be prepared to simply hang up. Thank you for your advice. This has been incredibly helpful to be able to write out. A lot of this stuff seems obvious now that I've had to try to explain it." Yeah, look, OP, I don't think you do owe your mum a deeper relationship just because she decided that she finally wants to have a deeper relationship with you. I think it's more than acceptable for you to want to protect your peace, even if she's struggling. You know what she's like. You know her more than anyone else. I think it's good that you're taking the advice of the template and saying something like, "Look, I'm glad you're doing better, but I need to move more slowly and keep things how they are right now, and maybe we can open up a bit more in the future when you've had some time to self-reflect. I don't think you're rejecting her at all. I think you were just setting boundaries. I think you need to keep reinforcing those boundaries, and we need to break that pattern that she keeps going over time and time again, where she struggles to respect those boundaries and shows that she doesn't want to respect them." So like the comments have said, if she tries to guilt you again, you have to remind yourself, like she has had so long, she has had your entire life to be a parent, but you've had to be the adult the whole time with her. That's not fair on you. I think you can care about her recovery without sacrificing your own stability to keep her happy. We always reinforce that notion that boundaries are about protecting yourself. I think you've done a fantastic job so far. Keep reinforcing those consequences when she oversteps those boundaries. And now, onto the update. So no one asked for this update, but I guess I wanted to give some of you told you so rights. I was able to use bits and pieces from almost every comment. From preparing myself for it to not go well / needing to hang up on her, to making sure I didn't fall into the trap of explaining and listening out past incidents. I basically said the following. I'm happy for list of accomplishments she's had. Unfortunately, none of that erases 20+ years of lack of support and actions by you that clearly indicated that I wasn't a priority. I'm not looking for explanations nor apologies. I've worked hard to make my peace with it, and I've worked hard to get our relationship to a point where I can maintain my mental health and have you in my life. So when you say that it could be better, in my mind, it's right where it needs to be. If that is to change at all, I have some boundaries that need to be followed. List of boundaries, some specific, but 2 big ones of respect my boundaries and respect when I say no. If you want us to talk more, I'm happy to pick up the phone. You have every right to ask things from me, but you have to respect when the answer isn't what you want to hear. First question was if I thought our relationship was better before stepdad came around. No. Next was asking for examples when she didn't support me. I told her she'd have to do some reflecting because she was there for the same events I was, and it's not fair to me to ask for that emotional labor. She said she had done lots of reflection and couldn't see it until stepdad came into the picture. She pushed a couple more times for examples. Is it because I missed some events that your dad was at? She stopped when I called her out the second time for deflecting responsibility for her actions. I told her multiple times during this portion that she doesn't have to remember or own up to anything, but she does have to live with the consequences. Her last question was, is there any way we could ever push past this all? I told her this is what past this all looks like. She pushed back a little bit, but when it was clear that I wasn't moving an inch, the call ended with, well, thank you. You've given me a lot to think about. None of her questions or responses were any indication that she was worried that I was hurt. She was trying to find justifications that I might listen to. Anything to poke holes. There was a part of me that wondered if she always recognized how much neglect there was and just didn't want to face it, but claiming lots of reflection and not having a single incident come to mind that didn't involve blaming someone else answered that question. While she was calm while she tried to respond, her tone was very tense. The worst case here, she continues to try to push boundaries, and I cut off contact, and it's one less stress in life. Best case, she respects them, and it's one less stress in my life. I know this is likely a case of she'll respect them until she doesn't. The important thing for me was that I was upfront with her and set clear boundaries. I've done my due diligence to telling her how our relationship could change. I used change instead of improve very intentionally with my mother. I'm relieved. The ball is in her court, and I have some answers. Thanks again for the advice, sharing of your own experiences, and encouragement. It gave me the confidence and a plan for that phone call. In the comments, Sweetle says, I've had this same conversation with my dad. He knows there's something to repair, but he wants examples just so he can argue with me about them. When he starts saying things like this, she pushed a couple more times for examples. Is it because I missed some events that your dad was at? I tell him, that sounds like work you need to do in therapy. I can't help you work to an understanding of your actions when I'm the one that was impacted by them. He won't go to therapy, but I refuse to conduct therapy with him. So we are very low contact now. OP replies, this was definitely my first step in trying to make it clear that I am no longer her source of therapy. I know she was in therapy for a bit, but I don't think she continued. It'd be really nice if our parents were willing to do the same work that they seem to want us to do. That's a great response to your dad. Good luck with it moving forward, and stay strong. Evanik says, good for you. Setting boundaries with parents is hard work. Sometimes the hardest work we will do, and you did it kindly, directly, and firmly. I hope you can pat yourself on the back and find a way to reward yourself. OP says, thank you. Definitely light pat on the back and had some celebratory cheesecake, as one does. For my take on this, I think that was textbook perfect how OP handled this. She took that conversation with more composure and clarity than I genuinely think most people ever could manage in a situation like this. I hate that line of questioning from people like her where they try to shirk off their responsibility for situations by having you name each individual instance where you felt disrespected so that they don't have to do the work of foresight and thinking through their actions. They can just be like, well, actually, if you let me explain my side, ugh. Like, they genuinely don't want to be better. They just want to argue how what they did wasn't that bad and you're overreacting. So OP, I think it is great that you didn't let her bait you into rehashing the past. Refusing to carry that emotional weight for her was fantastic, and I think you defined exactly what moving forward looks like on your terms. You can tell that cycle is repeating again, and I think you did kind of call it. She still wants control here. She's deflecting, she's fishing for examples, but, you shut her down without being cruel. I think you were very strong for doing that. So no matter how she reacts from here, I think you've won, and you've made peace with the boundaries that you have set with her. So I hope you continue to maintain them, and I hope you maintain them in a calm, consistent, and guilt-free way that makes it very clear there will be more consequences if she continues to prod. Thank you for this update. Thank you for your story, OP. Best of luck. Our next post is by a deleted account, and it's titled, My 24 male, girlfriend 24 female, is unusually buying new bras and panties. Over the last 2.5 weeks, my girlfriend has bought close to 9 new pairs of lingerie. This is unusual because she bought some 7 new pairs somewhere at the beginning of April. Now, I don't mind a girl buying new lingerie, but this is unusual. She had close to 40 new pairs of lingerie, a count which keeps on decreasing every other day. Now I take trash out every given day, and I've observed that she hasn't thrown her old lingerie in the trash over the past 1 week, while there is no trace of it anywhere in our apartment, and yet she's missing 4 to 5 pairs from our common closet. She seems to act pretty normal, and there's no dent in her daily routine. But it boggles me why she's on this lingerie shopping spree. It's not like she's amassing a stockpile of lingerie. Her lingerie count is somewhat unchanged from the time before this madness. I couldn't find a trace of her old lingerie. Am I being paranoid? Am I missing something here feminine that is otherwise normal? Should I ask her anything about it? Here are some replies from OP in the comments. Is there a better way to ask her again, or rather tell her that I find it strange that she's been disposing of it at her workplace? I alternatively thought that it might have something to do with her menstrual cycle or period, and it might be incredibly offensive to ask her more about that if that might have been the reason. Honestly, most guys here have suggested that she might be selling it to other random dudes, which is too far-fetched for someone like her. The more I read those comments, the more I feel like I should check if that's true, in spite of her ewing away to my remark made earlier today. I'm gonna call her during lunch break to talk things over. I honestly don't know the case of missing undies, but I do know that her workplace has this gym in the building with a shower room for women. I think she might be using that, at my best guess. But yeah, it would be a bit trashy to drop someone's personal clothing at work. I assumed maybe she had some kind of period mishap, but again, not sure about it. Not sure if she's bought it online. She usually goes shopping with her sister to a Westfield mall nearby. I've gifted my girlfriend a few intimate gifts from time to time, so I wouldn't be surprised. She does occasionally pick her own intimates from time to time, along with her sister and friends. In 3 years of our relationship, I've been shopping with her probably once or twice for her needs. She, on the other hand, has dragged me to the mall for countless times, saying that I need to up my wardrobe with something more colorful at the workplace. I think I'm less concerned about her spending habits at the moment. What I am really concerned about is if she has something on her mind that she might be keeping to herself. Her disposition is more like if there's suffering out there in the world, then she will mask it out and not let anyone know about it. I'm now open to the idea that she might be having OBGYN issues, or maybe financial dilemma, or perhaps something else at work. Her work is pretty stressful and keeps her on her toes, but she's damn good at dusting things off and moving on. I always felt if she had been cheating on me, or any woman based on a few breakups I've witnessed of my close friends, her mood, behavior, and affection towards me would have changed, which I don't think has happened in the past few days. This is a tough one, man. I get why your mind is spinning here because it is really odd what she's doing, and anyone can and would notice that if this was happening to them. I think before you assume the worst is happening here, you should just kind of talk to her calmly and directly, and don't go accusing her of cheating without evidence, obviously. You just gotta say something like, hey man, woman. Hey girlfriend. Hey girly. Drop in there, hey girly DM on Instagram. I noticed you've been getting a lot of new lingerie lately. Is everything all good? What's happening? Is there anything you want to talk about? I think you just keep it curious, you keep it chill, you don't confront her on this one. As the comments have said though, there's so many reasons that this could be happening. She could be selling them online, it could be a body confidence thing, could be medical or stress related, but yeah, you have to ask her about it. You have to get her to put it into words first before you start jumping to rash actions, I'd say. But your gut feeling is usually pretty spot on with situations like this. I think if she gets defensive or evasive, then you gotta go with that gut feeling. But yeah, talk it out, see what she says, and come back to us. And now, onto the updates. There's a lot. Just to note, Karen is girlfriend's elder sister. Update 1. So I might ask her while we drive down to the train station in the next 30 minutes. I'll keep you guys posted. Update 2. Alright, so I chatted with her while driving. I started off by asking her directly, as the user FightMaxMaster suggested. She said something like she hasn't been feeling good about her underwear fitting, old and new, while at work, so she's taken a new vow. If she finds any underwear incredibly uncomfortable, she will throw it off immediately. I told her that I haven't noticed any in our trash, maintaining my casual tone, and she said since we spend most of our daytime at work, she disposes of it in her workplace bin and carries pairs of change underwear like most women do. I even said to her jokingly, "Oh, haha, I was worried that you were selling your undies on eBay or something," just to get some kind of an answer, and she eeled at my remark. Do women do that at work or get rid of their old undies when they find it uncomfortable like this? I could really use your insights on this. To be honest, we moved in together at the beginning of this year, and this is the first time that I've moved in with a girl in a relationship. I don't know what else I could do since she's made it clear that she drops it off in work trash and has shown no intention/fetish to sell it online. But overall, I tried to make this conversation as just out of curiosity as I could. Update 3. This is way too overwhelming. I'm heading back home and taking a day off. I know I might be overreacting, but somehow it just doesn't sound right. The conversation we had an hour ago. I might talk to her again during her lunch break. Update 4. Seriously, guys, thank you. I've been glued to my phone all morning long, except driving back home. It took me a lot of self-convincing to gather clues for a possibility that my girlfriend might be selling it online. Back at home, we have a place to archive open mail, receipts, bills, and other important documents, except for our social and other personal items. There were 6 receipts in total, 2 from Victoria's Secret, and 3 from Target, and 1 from Macy's. Against my rough counting, she had amassed some 28 to 30 pairs of lingerie, including the one at the beginning of April. 2 of these receipts had Karen's name on it, my girlfriend's elder sister. I believe Karen has some kind of rewards card from Victoria's Secret. That itself accounts for 40% of her new purchases. Until now, I thought she'd probably purchased 15 pairs, give or take. I don't want to invade her privacy by sneaking her bank statements, because that would be a bit over the line, but I cannot believe that she spent $1,100 plus on lingerie over the past 45 days. That, by itself, is so fucking unusual. It's also odd that she hasn't paid using our Red card at Target. We have Target apps on our phones. I am calling my brother over to get some clarity. I don't know if it would be right to log into her laptop and see her browsing history to confirm if she's selling her underwear online. I'm just numb at the moment. Update 5. I spoke to my brother and saw some of your comments. I've decided to confront her in person when she's back home. I don't want to take any chances or let any form of miscommunication trigger chain reactions for questions that might be unwarranted to her. Update 6. You know you've had one of those days when all hell breaks loose, and this was one for me. I skipped my lunch break phone call in hopes that I can talk to my girlfriend when she gets back home. Spoke to Karen and her mum in the meantime to ensure if she isn't in some kind of financial mess or other kind of trouble. But it takes one fucking truth to destroy it all. You guys, my girlfriend saw this post at work and she immediately knew that it was me posting it here. I didn't realize this, leaving the rest of her day off. Some 4 hours ago, my girlfriend confessed that she was sleeping with some guy that she met at her work gym. Since the beginning of March. Fuck me. She met this guy at her work gym some 8 months ago. This guy's not even from her workplace. He works at the other startup, in a different building of this corporate park. She said things got all heated up late February after one afternoon. I fucking thought she stopped going to gym owing to her hectic schedule after her promotion in late November, but there she was, going to gym all along. From the day she started sleeping with this guy, she told her co-workers she has switched gyms across the streets. I hadn't even cared to ask where they did it. The missing underwear. This is so messed up. Sick. She had this realization midway in March that this was wrong. I don't know why I never saw this side of her, but she began buying new underwear and throwing it off as some fucking guilt ritual. She said she couldn't get off that guilt of wearing the same underwear in bed with me as she had worn hours earlier sleeping with that guy. Do you know how disgusting that feels? Who fucking does this? Throwing away underwear because you want to dust off the guilt from having worn it during sex with a guy that you had met and barely known? I was standstill, but I held up for the moment. She says she was confused and that she has backed away from this guy's advances since the past week. I don't believe any word of it. In fact, I don't think I want to believe what she said. Also, the tossing her underwear at the workplace was an excuse. Yes, because back then I was driving and she didn't know how to react or what to say, so she made that excuse up, and here I was worrying that whole day what it could be. I later called Karen because we were both emotionally drained. I didn't even wait a bit after she arrived. Even Karen was shocked by the ramble. She later called me because I had already left them in our apartment. It took me a while to get my thoughts right and to call my brother. I'll be crashing at his house for now. Honestly, I don't ever want to see her face again. How can someone lie so perfectly? How can someone be so cold that they show no emotional change or discomfort when sleeping with two people? What the hell? She slept with me hours after she slept with that idiot, and throwing underwear away was her means of getting over that guilt? I don't understand her anymore. When she said that it was all carnal, I didn't even know she believed in the notion of sleeping around with people for physical needs. She said she still loves me and that this was just something that made her feel good. I don't even know what to interpret of that. Honestly, I think my thoughts are all over the place, but thank you. I don't know if I could have known about this if it wasn't for this post. It was after dinner that I did realize that this was trending on this subreddit, and this post made her take the midday train back home. I have so many questions. Part of me wants to see her again just to make sure she's all right. Part of me doesn't want to see her ever again. I have so many questions, but I just avoided her by walking downstairs in no time. I had to ask my brother and his wife to pick some stuff up from home. This is all messed up. And now, onto the final update. I've taken sick leave today. I just wanted to say a huge thanks to people who have commented on my post from yesterday. I wanted to let you guys know that I've read each and every comment up until late last night. If it wasn't for your awesome responses, I would have never even dared to ask her about her behavior in the first place, or if she would have never come back home early to confront me about this after viewing that post on Reddit. I was able to get some sleep. Yes, I'm at my brother's place, while she is staying with Karen, who is her sister. Karen reached out to me late last night and asked if we could meet early this morning at a coffee shop and chat. So I did. We talked a lot about what happened yesterday. Since she partly confided in Karen about what she did and why she did it, here are some key takeaways. She doesn't know why she began sleeping with this guy in the first place, it just happened. She feels terribly sorry for what she did to me and hopes we can work things out. She's already broken up with this guy a week ago. She felt that it was wrong and that there was no excuse for it. She asked Karen to buy stuff from Victoria's Secret using Karen's credit card because she felt it would be awkward to explain it to me if we were to review her finances. We used to do that together to cut her expenses and to pay up aggressively towards her student loans. She claimed that sex with this guy was completely carnal and that there were no feelings or affection involved. She said that she got lured by this because her new responsibilities were way too overwhelming for her, but again, she maintained that she didn't know why she started sleeping with this guy in the first place. I don't think I want to know who this guy is or whether it was him or her who made the first move. Thinking about it is so fucking depressing. I should have noticed how she was able to maintain her body in spite of quitting gym late last year. That being said, I still don't understand what must have made her impulsively sleep with that guy and jeopardize our relationship in the first place. I think I'm going to eventually weigh in those reasons before I decide as what to do next. I've been trying to assess if I could have picked up on any cues that are otherwise typical to a cheater, and it's so strange that she hadn't had any of those characteristics. I mean, the fact that she confessed that she was able to convince her co-workers that she was going to the gym across the street instead of using the free gym in her workplace by itself is so infuriating. I don't think I ever would have doubted her cheating on me because you don't see those cliched staying home late after work or texting someone constantly symptoms when she was around at home. I think if I tried to understand what made her get into bed with this guy, I'd just get myself deeper down the rabbit hole. Karen also said that even she couldn't truly understand what was going on in her head when she decided to have this fling with a completely unknown guy and put our relationship at stake. Though Karen did make a full disclosure that my girlfriend once cheated on a guy as a teenager back in high school and things turned out ugly back then. I was a bit surprised since I didn't know this before. We both knew our relationship and/or dating history midway in our relationship, but not this. That was quite a long time ago, and by the way, Karen is a sweet lady. She even wrote each of us a letter before we moved in together. This is so ironic. I lurk on Reddit via my main account to get updates on r/Apple and r/Mac OS, while my girlfriend used to thoroughly read r/2X chromosomes. She would sometimes read out a post here and there, asking me what do I think about some post on Reddit from a guy's perspective, entailing into one of those small talks. Little did I know that our life would be one of those actual relationship questions, to be a topic for small talk amongst other Redditors or couples here online. Nonetheless, I truly appreciated your responses. I would have dragged this thing on for days or even weeks, getting more and more worried and obsessed about my girlfriend's behavior. See, when you move in together, no one ever tells you what boundaries to set and what things to avoid. I think I made a mistake there. Maybe I should have checked on her time and time again to see if something had been bothering her at work. I think first time living with someone that aren't your parents or drunk dudes back from college is always awkward and wonderful at the same time. Don't take this as advice, but as a takeaway from my ill-fated experience. Just ask your significant other time and again if he or she has anything to share that is bothering him or her. I know this sounds like a dumb thing to ask, but when you're in a new relationship or have upped your relationship status, we tend to worry more about getting the dynamic of relationship or new arrangement right instead of worrying about feelings of that other person. I expected that we might get bored of each other one fine day as we grow older, and I might end up buying candles at Target to spice things up, But not this. When she was drained back from work after her promotion before we moved in, I seriously thought that it would be better if I gave her her own free time and not bring work talk to the dinner table or when we hung out together. Little did I realize that this could have made her look for comfort elsewhere. I can also affirm that I have been around her as long as she needed me, but I guess we were both busy complimenting each other in our apartment by who gets to do what to upkeep our surroundings, groceries, social responsibilities, instead of just being in the moment and listening to one another. I just picked up my car and got off from my meeting with Karen at the coffee shop. I have the remainder of this weekend all to myself. While my brother and his wife have been incredibly supportive, I thought of getting myself checked in to the first available counselor, even if that's just one time. I haven't told any of my friends or co-workers about it, so it's going to be social life as usual unless I come to a decision as to what to do next. It's like you're fucking pissed off for having your trust shattered, but then you need to have to walk through those broken pieces to get out of it without getting hurt yourself. So now our apartment stays deserted while I figure out what to do next. Sorry for the ramble, but thank you again. And here are some answers to questions in the comments from OP. First question is, what happened after the confrontation? OP says, she was crying really hard. At one point in time, she fell down. I was angry as hell. I was constantly trying to keep myself in control and not do anything stupid back then. When I was leaving, she was still crying, but Karen was there around her. I didn't look her in the eyes while leaving because I was just, pretty confused and angry. Another question, have you talked to her at all? Are you still sleeping at your brother's and she at her sister's? Does she still want to be back with you? What will happen to your apartment? Can you break the lease? Apart from breaking up with her, you may have to face some unanticipated financial burdens, so weigh your options carefully. OP says, I have not talked to her. I have been avoiding this for the past few days. She is over at her sister's. She has driven by, as I know the car that Karen drives, and it's a pretty small neighborhood. Karen met me on Monday evening and said she hasn't stopped crying over the weekend, but she agreed that it's my decision on what's next. She hasn't spoken much to Karen or her mother either, it seems. I spoke to the leasing office, and they said under the circumstances, I can terminate my lease and pay rent until they find a new occupant. I haven't given much thought to that. My mind races when I have to face this possible reality. I think I'll be fine from a financial standpoint. I've been living frugally and have saved for a while. In the comments, Violin says, to think that she would have gotten away with it if she didn't buy all that underwear. Cheaters do the weirdest things. And thank God for that, because dude deserves a lot better. Quote, she disposes of it in her workplace bin and carries a pair of change underwear, like most women do? Yeah, okay girl, like, what even is that? For real, that's not true. I guess maybe some women carry a change of underwear. No women that I know, but I am in fact not every woman, so okay. But habitually throwing underwear away in the workplace bin is crazy talk. It makes it sound like she's popping it in a waste paper basket next to her desk or something. Damn, this was a saga of a story, was it not? All of this is incredibly gut-wrenching though, and OP, you didn't deserve to be blindsided like that, especially someone who you're supposed to be able to trust and share your home with. I have no words, and it seems like you were taking your time processing this one. It's not easy. I think that was crazy that she turned her guilt into a ritual, like an actual guilt ritual of throwing her underwear away. I've never heard of that, but it doesn't sound like she's remorseful in this situation. It sounds like that's just her avoiding having to deal with her feelings. She's not ready for a real relationship. She is not taking accountability for her actions. She was never going to be honest with you, and you definitely do deserve better than what she has given you. You did everything right stepping back here by leaning on your brother as well, and for seeing a counselor. I completely respect that. I don't think it's worth wasting your energy trying to understand why she did what she did here. I really feel like you are beating yourself up way too much and avoiding having that talk. Just ending it, moving on, and going about your life without her in it. I think just focus on getting yourself steady again, man. She already made her choice. There's no going back from that. I don't know. Like, it kind of sounds like you're trying to get back with her or find a reason to get back with her. Don't do that. I think it's time for you to protect your peace, to rebuild your life, and don't let her break you. Don't let her break who you are and all the pieces that make you the best version of yourself. You can do better, and I believe in you, OP. Thank you for your story, and thank you for your many updates. Good luck. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.